EMTV secures deal with New Zealand government. Findings show more than close to 3 million affected by drought. And newly crowned Pacific Queen returns home.
This is National EMTV News with Lorraine Genia.
Good evening and welcome to Wednesday's news. Papua New Guineans will have more viewing content with EMTV securing an agreement with the New Zealand government-supported broadcasting initiative. Under this agreement, the Pacific Broadcasting Corporation Limited will supply a range of free-to-air content to EMTV. This initiative is part of the New Zealand government's effort to widen its reach in the Pacific.
While the agreement with EMTV has just been finalized, the initiative was launched during the Pacific Islands Leaders Forum here in Port Moresby by the New Zealand Prime Minister.
From the New Zealand government's point of view, we're contributing around about $400,000 to the project, and that's really building the connectivity, the pipes infrastructure that allows this announcement to take place.
New Zealand High Commissioner to PNG, Tony Fautua, said they hope to reach as many people as possible with this initiative, which means partnering with free-to-air broadcasters is a key component.
You see the TV and MTVs are shown to a lot of people. It's very exciting, and I think it's a very important way that we develop that sort of government-to-government linkages, also channeled through the private sector.
For EMTV, this agreement provides a range of opportunities.
Opportunities for our employees to learn new skills in broadcasting, to learn new skills in packaging the news and programming, and it also gives us a new perspective on the way we can portray Papua New Guinea to the Pacific and the way that we can portray the Pacific to Papua New Guinea.
PNG is part of 7 other Pacific countries who come under this initiative. A unique aspect of this initiative is that it provides free content to the Pacific that people in New Zealand and Australia pay for, especially sports content.
If you want to watch Super Rugby and all that sort of stuff, the Sansa, the South Africa, you have to pay for that. This comes to the Pacific free of charge.
Other content that will come through this initiative include news, documentaries and television series.
We're looking forward to it, we're excited about it, and we'll be seeing all this content relayed through EMTV, free to air to all our viewers come the 1st of February 2016.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
Landowners of Hyde's PDL7 project area in the Hela province want the government to withdraw administrative and financial powers of the Hela provincial government and set up a new caretaker administration. They claim the Hela provincial government failed to allocate funds from the state-released 53 million kina to nominated projects by landowners of Hydes 1, Hydes 4, Angore and Juha. The landowners have now given the government 21 days notice to act before the forceful closure of the PNG LNG project's Hydes conditioning plant.
The landowners of PDL7 called a media conference to ask the national government to replace the Hela provincial government with a caretaker administration. They claim the provincial government is misapplying the infrastructure development grants on agro-industrial business, which is a breach of UBSA and LBBSA contracts. Principal landowner of Hydes PDL7, John Honale, said the 53 million kina was released as part of the state's response to the landowners' 21-point petition given in July this year.
Now, me plus surprise law looking. This money being put in the concert law, infrastructure development trust, law Department of Finance. Now this money all draw down. Drawn down and go zero. Now PDL7 all miss out. We play a total of 45 million outstanding in infrastructure grants.
The landowners claim the Hela provincial government, being the government on the ground, is not providing leadership in assisting and addressing landowner issues in relation to UBSA and LBBSA forums. They want the national government to also nullify the UBSA and are calling for fresh agreements for the PNG LNG project. They have given the government 21 days to respond before they close the project's Hydes conditioning plant.
All kita disla online all comes tabia. Online go pass him this project lo demand him 45 million kina for the last 3 years.
Mr. Honales said that when the Prime Minister released the money, it was a special commitment to the project area and not for anyone else that will result in the denial of the rights of the people of PDL7. While thanking the Prime Minister for ensuring the release of the funds, the landowners also want him to clarify who the funds were meant for.
So Prime Minister, we thank you. But you have to tell us, honestly, either you gave us the money or you gave the money to help provision government. That's the question we are asking the Prime Minister. Prime Minister has to come clear.
Deli Waigeno, National, EMTV News.
More than 2.7 million people are currently affected by the prolonged drought. Dr. Michael Burke, a consultant from the Australian National University, presented his findings at a workshop in Port Moresby today. His findings also showed areas that are greatly affected had the same effect during the El Niño in 1997.
Currently, the drought impact categories are changing from Category 3 to Categories 4 and 5. Category 3 is conditions are difficult, with food reduced and some famine food being eaten, and water available only at a distance. Category 4 is no food in the gardens, famine food only being eaten, increasing sicknesses, causing the lives of some children and old people at risk. Category 5 is extreme situation, only famine food available and water shortage, many people ill, small children and old people seriously at risk. Dr. Mike Burke from the Australian National University conducted his own research extensively throughout PNG and found out that there is an increase in skin and internal disease.
People were eating bush mushrooms, but they were getting sick, and one man died from it. So the medical staff said, stop doing that. People started eating clay.
Most parts of the Highlands region are facing food shortage, while in the coastal region, they are facing water shortage. Remote areas are mostly impacted. People are eating wild yams, banana com, green pawpaw, coconut and green leaves to survive. In some parts of Western Province, especially in Telefomin district, people are eating traditional edible clay to stop hunger.
Older people, elderly couple, older than 60 years old and not mobile. But for the bulk of the population, people are getting by.
50 million kina has been given to the disaster center to address this issue. So far, 2,572 tons of food supplies have already been distributed to the greatly affected areas, especially in the Highlands region, Western Province and Goilala in the Central Province. Some other affected areas have relief supplies distributed by the provincial and local level governments. Meanwhile, the Agriculture and Livestock Department is finalizing a food security policy to be implemented next year to address the dry spell. The Health Department is also working on a nutrition policy. The workshop held today is to get a collective view from churches and partners so that a roadmap will be created to address the dry spell. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News.
Public Enterprise Minister Ben Micah has called the spill and fill retrenchment exercise by Telecom PNG a necessary process. This support for Telecom's retrenchment exercise comes after a lot of criticisms by some telecom workers who are part of the PNG Communications Workers Union.
Minister Micah said he and the public enterprise officials have had discussions with both telecom management and the workers' union regarding this issue.
When a threat came from the Communication Workers Union to go on strike, I initiated immediate meetings between the senior management of Telecom to understand what this spill and fill issue was all about. And at the same time, I set up a team from my office and the department, which then met with the unions and telecom management to see if we can reach some clear understanding about what the issues are.
After After these discussions, he feels that this retrenchment exercise that utilizes the spill and fill format is needed.
Workers who have served the company for quite some time but are now reaching retirement, those whose skills may not be relevant because of technology changes, you cannot just allow them to continue to fill the space.
In one of their latest protests last month, telecom workers staged a sit-in protest. One of the issues that they raised is the legality of this process, which the union has also taken to court.
What the management has done was that they have decided to drift away from the EBA 2010, which is a binding agreement, right? It's consolidated both the union and management. Anything to do with changes in policy, restructure of the company, they need to consult the union.
Telecom CEO Michael Donnelly said at the time that telecom management is not acting illegally.
Board and management are not acting illegally. And the union has their right to take these issues to the courts, and the various issues that have been before the courts today presented by the union have not been successful.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
A memorandum of understanding signed between the PNG Defence Force and the National Capital District Health Services will see two important services opened up to the public. Under the MOU, medical officers from NCD Health Service will work alongside health officers at Tarama Army Barracks to provide labour and surgical operations to the servicemen, their families and the public. The MOU was signed in Port Moresby this morning.
The binding agreement follows a government directive in 2013, whereby the Health Department initiated a move to partner with the PNG Defence to provide health services in NCD. The partnership will see medical help being provided to Papua New Guineans through what is believed to be the first government-to-government partnership.
So in there, we have been looking at exploring avenues, and I want to pay tribute to a colleague who was with coming when we were exploring this.
The absence of a labour ward and an operating theatre at the Gero St. John's Hospital has prompted NCD Health to look to other health service providers in the country to cater for the increased population needing health care. The signing of the MOU today signals the start of renovation work at the labour ward and the operating theatre at Tarama.
This will see services that we render to not only the military community, but for those who are living around the periphery of the barracks, and also for any other cases throughout the military establishments that need to be referred to Tarama, where specialists will be involved in taking care of our patients.
The demand for health services in Port Moresby has increased over the years, following transferal cases from other provinces. And with the limited health facilities and human resource challenges the health department continues to face, the partnership comes as a relief for all parties. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
You're with National EMTV News, the day's other stories when we come back. Welcome back. You're watching National EMTV News. Road safety officers have been given the go-ahead to launch their Christmas and New Year operations. Road Safety Council Executive Director Nelson Terema says the council has received support from the police and transport departments to carry out road checks. These festive operations will focus on minimizing the number of unsafe vehicles on the roads in Port Moresby.
As people gear up for Christmas and New Year celebrations, road safety officers are also preparing for their biggest operation of the year. The National Road Safety Council has commenced its festive operations. In Port Moresby, road safety officers will set up random road checks at selected parts of the city to check vehicle roadworthiness and ensure drivers have current licenses.
They responded, we are trying to put up a major festive period operations. It's normal normal operation we have been doing over the years, and we will continue to do that. And making sure people enjoy the festive period.
The festive operation is a nationwide task carried out by the Road Safety Council in collaboration with police and the Transport Department every year. In Port Moresby, an estimated 50,000 vehicles will be using the roads during the festive season. This includes vehicles traveling into the city from the Central and Gulf provinces.
So that is a continuous enforcement operations that we've been doing for the last 10 years, and then we continue to do that.
While road safety officers are conducting their operations here in the nation's capital, provincial road safety officers are also expected to conduct similar operations in provincial towns and along national highways. The operations will run until January 2016. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Police Commander Gary Bucky today confirmed the death of Assistant Commissioner of Police Commander Teddy Tay. Commissioner Bucky said Commander Tay died after a fatal road accident in the early hours of this morning, and news sent shockwaves through the Royal PNG Constabulary and the nation. The Assistant Commissioner of Police was commander for the newly established Highlands Western Command based in Mendi in the Southern Highlands Province. The fatal accident happened near Warrakumun Bridge in Western Highlands when Commander Tay was returning to Mendi from Mount Hagen. Commissioner Bucky said ACP Tay's body is being flown to Port Moresby and details of funeral arrangements will be made known in the coming days. In the meantime, Chief Superintendent Kaiglo Ambane will be acting ACP Highlands Western Command until a new appointment is made. 4 male non-nationals are among 610 prisoners serving their term at the Bomana Correctional Services Prison. Commanding Officer Superintendent Kidi Keko says PNG prison services are the same for all prisoners and non-nationals are not given special treatment. The 4 prisoners are imprisoned for various reasons. Last week, Bomana Correctional Services released 5 fishermen from Indonesia serving their term for illegal fishing.
Bomana Prison is the biggest in Papua New Guinea with a holding capacity of 970 inmates. Currently, there are 610 inmates occupying the cell blocks in various units, but it still has space for 200 more. Commanding Officer Superintendent Kidi Keko says the Correctional Services prison operations have been smooth this year.
Very orderly and normal. We've had a good year. You know, I think you all know that you've heard that Bomana has been very quiet, and that has been the year we've all enjoyed. And if we can enjoy here, I'm sure the public out in the city have also enjoyed the atmosphere.
Prison management and operations is a memo task, but Bomana Prison has managed with no major incident occurring. Keko attributes this to the commitment shown from his management team. Much of the facilities at the Bomana Prison have seen better days, and there is a need for improvement. Keko fears the changing economic landscape could spur a rise in social problems, which will eventually put a strain on the prison facilities not only in Bomana but throughout the country. He urged the government to pay attention to this developing trend to avoid a meltdown in the prison services operations. But as it is, Bomana is managing its affairs to avoid repercussions on its operations. Keko says CS Bomana going forward will work closely with relevant stakeholders to ensure the number of inmates is manageable. Mickey Cavera, National EMTV News.
The Waigani Committal Court has found Truong Quang Than, 35 years old, from Quang Ngai Province in Vietnam, guilty of 5 charges for illegal fishing in PNG waters. Than was charged under the Fisheries Management Act 1998 for harvesting 260.65 kilograms of sea cucumber in PNG's territorial waters near Ninigo Group of Islands between Wewak and Manus. During his conviction yesterday, Magistrate Cosmas Bida, after considering all these evidences, fined Thong with his 2 crew members 25,000 kina in total for these 5 charges. The court also ruled that the Vietnamese foreign vessel carrying the flag state of Vietnam, the fishing gears and all the fisheries products in it will be strictly forfeited. Meanwhile, the court has imposed a penalty of 6 months pertaining to these 5 charges on the convict. Thad also appeared before the Baroko District Court on Monday and was fined 4,000 kina for entering PNG waters without proper travel documents under the PNG Immigration Act. Teachers of Central Province have raised concerns on ghost names found under the listing for leave entitlements. Some of those are names of deceased persons. The PNG Teachers Association has condemned the corrupt practices by public servants working in the Provincial Education Division, calling on the national government to investigate. The association says these fraud activities have affected genuine teachers who are seeking leave fare entitlements. Fabian Hakelitz with this report.
Teachers from Hiri and Rigo districts of Central Province have fallen victims because of corrupt practices within the Provincial Education Division. They fronted up at the PNG Teachers Association office and registered a complaint, which was labelled by General Secretary Ugwalubu Moana as unacceptable code of conduct in the public service.
Nobody in government took PNGTA's calls to audit the provinces on teachers' leave fares. There's millions and millions of kina getting corrupted in the provinces through leave fare appropriation for teachers, and our teachers suffer because of corruption.
In the listing, ghost names, deceased names, and even teachers from that particular district teaching in that same district not entitled to leave fares.
As a result, some teachers from other provinces who are teaching in Central will miss out.
The Central Provincial Government Administration, in a statement, said teachers' leave fares have been completed. However, only Kairuku, Goilala and Abau have been paid, as well as surface travelling fares.
I want to know whether Central Province have managed the 1.783 million.
The national government has been called on to investigate this matter that has caused inconvenience to most teachers.
Can the Finance and Treasury take a serious audit of the teachers' leave fare?
It will not be a joyful celebration because these teachers have not received their leave entitlements.
We are now asking if there is a possibility where the government can assist so that we can also go home and enjoy the Christmas vacation like all the others.
All the teachers in Rigo and Hiri district, we know that we are not having our slices. And we have a question, why has that happened?
Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
It's day 3 at Morbe's Education Division, and some Morbe teachers are finally able to travel to their home provinces for holidays. Following 2 days of queuing in front of the Morbe Education Office to get their entitlements, the teachers were served their leave fares. Colin Barlai reports from Leh.
This is what it looked like 3 days ago. Impatient teachers frustrated over the long wait to get their leave entitlements. After 3 days of waiting, this is what it looks like now. Over half the number of teachers present at Morbe's Education Office in the last 2 days have received their leave entitlements. However, Lenny Emmanuel, a teacher from Bulolo's Gaura Primary School, has revealed he was given a lesser amount of fares compared to what he got 2 years ago.
So Gaura Primary School is in Punono District, Water Energy in Garaina, but they put in Wow, which is not correct. And another is Pindiu, which I haven't stated. They haven't stated in my quotation here, which I have received.
Bulolo District's Gaura Primary School is located in the Garaina area, a remote part in the district where transport services is only accessible by air or foot. Now, education and health service workers who provide services to the people out there rely highly on the government for their entitlements. His story is the same told by others who have raised concerns on other areas of improvement when acquiring leave entitlements.
two is, if they are doing this, then we want to see the guidelines. Where are the rules? Where are the policies for this? Is there a guideline to indicate that teachers come and stand here in line?
Colin Barilai, National EMTV News, Leh.
The government is adamant that the fiscal management of the country looks fine. This was a response by Finance Minister James Marape to several callers on FM 100's Talkback show this morning. The final Talkback show for 2015 was hosted by renowned broadcaster and host Roger Howarth.
Finance Minister James Marape was at this morning FM 100 Radio Talkback Show episode for the 2015 year in review. Senior radio journalist and program host Roger Howarth acknowledged the Finance Minister on behalf of all the media personnel. Several callers on the line and attended reporters raised questions about the fiscal management status of the economy. Finance Minister James Marape responded to the questions on behalf of the O'Neill Dion government, said the government budget is sufficient enough to run this country concurrently.
I appreciate the fact that our economy has faced some stress this year due to the drop in commodity prices, drop in oil prices. Roger, this teaches us to be good managers in the economy.
He said the only onus affecting the fiscal budget is the falling commodity prices. However, the Finance Minister said despite the country's operating on budget deficit, it will take a while to regain its consistency. Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.3350 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.3275, $0.4517 Australian dollars, $0.2962 euro, and 39.53 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee and copra closed higher, while gold and cocoa closed the day lower. Copper closed lower, while palm oil and crude oil closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 156 points higher, the ASX closed at 89 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 86 points higher. PNG's Abigail Havora, the newly crowned Pacific Queen, returns home to a rousing welcome. That story and more when we come back. Welcome back to the news. Transparency International has officially handed over the Open Parliament project to Speaker Theo Zurino. Aimed at promoting transparency and accountability amongst members of Parliament, the project's goal is to build a parliamentary system based on principles of integrity. The public can now access Parliament records, including profiles and work of every member of Parliament.
Part of the Parliament reform by Speaker Theo Zurino, the project will now be changed to a program that will allow for information to be shared amongst MPs and the general public. The Open Parliament project, initiated by Transparency International PNG, will create an open dialogue between MPs where ordinary Papua New Guineans can have a better understanding of the roles and responsibilities of their MPs. Using the internet, people can visit the Parliament website on www.parliament.gov.pg to read the latest news or view every MP's profile plus many more. Yesterday afternoon saw the signing of the handover takeover, where TIPNG officially passed the project to the National Parliament, where it can now be fully implemented. Chairman of TIPNG, Lawrence Stevens, says the project is one of TIPNG's prized projects. However, he says the sustainability and the effectiveness of the project must be maintained.
And we would like to see very full, very dedicated commitment to making this fantastic initiative continue into the future.
Project funded by the European Union saw the EU ambassador to PNG saying they will continue to support the project.
It's not also a question of financial support. Of course, it's necessary to have the funding. But a key success factor is the commitment of the partners.
The handover takeover also marks the start of a major project Speaker Zurino is keen to see happen in the coming months. Mr. Zurunok says creating a research center for the parliament is one way the Open Parliament project can be sustained.
As decision makers, we need to be fed with the right kind of information, research information, proven facts, so we can equip better our leaders to debate better on the floor of Parliament and better understand what we are dealing or handling on the floor of Parliament, processing and then eventually producing out of Parliament.
The Speaker says the Parliament reform is well underway and says MPs are welcoming this new change in the National Parliament. Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
Buka Airport in the autonomous region of Bougainville will undergo major fencing in 2016. The fence will be implemented after much consultation with the Yita landowners who have agreed to be a part of this development. The acting managing director of National Airports Corporation, Joseph Tupiri, said his office will work closely with the landowners to ensure the project is delivered.
Contract agreements for the airport fencing has been signed by the National Airports Corporation and Markham Culverts. For Buka Airport alone, this will solve prolonged safety issues. Mr. Tupiri said safety and security was paramount in the aviation industry.
So to the people of Buka and the government and people who have been concerned about safety there, we now signing the contract for the supply of the fencing materials, and we will move into procuring a installation company to actually install the fence soon.
This project, jointly funded by the national government and Asian Development Bank, cost 6.2 million kina and also covers Momote Airport in Manus province.
Given the increase of aircraft movements within that airport because of the processing center, as well as the fact that the support that continues to go to the people of Manus, we need to improve safety there as well.
Markham Culverts wanted be to supply materials.
And we look forward to being able to be successful in bids in the future. We're very satisfied with the process at the bidding.
Meanwhile, another contract agreement has been signed between the National Airports Corporation and the Japanese government. This is for the Natsab Airport redevelopment, costing 692 million kina. Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
For the last 2 years, state-owned entities have succeeded in being more commercially minded with more success. When speaking to EMTV News, Public Enterprise and State Investments Minister Ben Micah says this has been due to a shift in thinking by SOEs in doing business.
Commenting on the performance of state-owned entities, Minister Micah was quick to point out the recent success of SOEs in providing much-needed revenue for the country. This included 400 million kina in dividend revenue in 2014. According to Minister Micah, SOEs have continued to perform well again this year in providing revenue to support the nation's budget.
The last cabinet decision on the 8th, cabinet approved for Kumul Consolidated Holdings a total of 350 million kina dividend that has been paid by the holding company and the SOEs to support the 2015 budget.
According to the minister, this is a demonstration of how SOEs can perform in a competitive market as commercial entities. A change in thinking has also enabled these SOEs to improve their performances and ultimately increase their individual balance sheets.
We have been able to realize the value through just smartly doing certain things right and decisions that the state has done, which has enabled the value to appreciate to that level.
Minister Micah says these changes are due to stability within the government.
These are positive signs of a government through my ministry that has been able to improve the performance of these companies.
But challenges still remain. Challenges that the minister admits the SOEs must take head-on to ensure they continue to succeed.
So in the next year, I think the challenge will be further consolidation so that we are able to separate clearly the regulatory and law-making areas of government and the business of government with the private sector in a commercial environment.
Meribatulo, National EMTV News.
Papua New Guinea's Miss Abigail Havara, winner of the Miss Pacific Islands crown, has returned home from Cook Islands. She was received by Central Province Governor Kila Hauda, along with major sponsor National Gaming Control Board CEO Imelda Agon, support team, family and friends. Governor Hauda thanked Miss Havara for her hard work and commitment, which made history for Papua New Guinea. Lorraine Gabina reports.
Miss Abigail Havora arrived to a warm welcome filled with excitement of her family and friends at the Jackson's International Airport this afternoon. Central Province Governor Kila Hauda was a proud man welcoming Miss Havora. He said he is supportive of women in their endeavors, and his presence at Miss Havora's welcome was to show for.
These are very, very hard tasks, and no doubt Abigail and your team have done a great job. Job well done.
Miss Havora was thankful for her support team, saying they were behind her throughout the pageant. She said it was their work that she made hers, which resulted in her success. She added winning the title comes with a very humbling feeling, and she is honored to have won.
You carry something in you, something deep within, and that's purpose. That's knowing why you're here. When God created all of us, He gave us each a unique talent. So don't ever stop believing in yourself. Even if it doesn't align up to someone else's who is rated higher, like, you don't have to be like me. You just have to be yourself and be the best version of yourself.
In Papua New Guinea's history of pageants, Eva Ani won the Miss Asia title in a separate pageant in 1975. 40 years later, Miss Havora has made history for Papua New Guinea, becoming the first Miss PNG to win the crown in the Miss Pacific Islands pageant. Miss Havora now looks forward to the future of her reign as Miss Pacific Islands in support for Papua New Guinea. Lorraine Gabina, National EMTV News.
And Trukai Sports is up next. We'll be back with all the details after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Now, former Kumuls coach Mal Meninga did not breach his contract with PNG RFL when he resigned last week. That from PNG RFL chairman Sandis Saka. Meninga announced last week his move to the Australian Kangaroos as head coach. Jaylee Sapias has this report.
PNG RFL chairman Sandis Saka made the announcement following questions raised about former PNG Kumuls coach Mal Meninga's move to the Australian Kangaroos.
In this case, Mal Meninga, in opting to take up the Australian job, after having made the decision, has actually exercised his right to terminate the contract with PNG RFL. We've consulted our lawyers and they've advised us that it's in order, so the contract is mutually terminated, yes.
The PNG RFL board will host a meeting next month where they plan to identify, develop and prepare both national men's and women's teams for the 2017 World Cup.
There's a wide range of local talent, but that does not restrict us from looking, casting the net wider to find the most appropriate person to take our national team forward.
Saka is happy for Meninga and wishes him all the best with his new contract as Australian Kangaroos head coach. While the PNG RFL board has set plans to recruit a new coach is set for January next year, Sports Minister Justin Tachenko and PNG Rugby League CEO Bob Cutmore have both tipped PNG Hunters coach Michael Marum for the Kumuls top job, as it is time a Papua New Guinean is given this role.
I think Michael Marum has proven himself already, and it'll be great to see a Papua New Guinean in that leading role.
Jaylee Sapias, National EMTV Sports.
Rugby league fans have a lot to look forward to next year. At a recent tour to the soon-to-be-completed National Football Stadium, Sports Minister Justin Tachenko said the facility will be the home of the most popular sport in the country.
Earlier in the year, the announcement that Papua New Guinea is to be a co-host at the next Rugby League World Cup in 2017 came as a boost for not only rugby league fans but the sporting community as well. With the National Football Stadium to be completed next year, local rugby league competitions will have the opportunity to play on a proper world-class facility.
And when it's up and running, it'll be available to all the public to come and be spectators and watch the games play, especially local league, because you know PRL is part of the trustee of this beautiful stadium.
Also, the National Football Stadium will be the home ground for the PNG Hunters, which will be a boost for the team going into next year's season of the Interest Super Cup.
So we look forward to the first Hunters game being played here in February next year, 2016, which I think will definitely be a sellout crowd. And I look forward to officially opening this magnificent National Football Stadium with our Prime Minister next year.
The National Football Stadium will also be used as a venue for the Under-20 Women's World Cup here in Port Moresby. The facility is one of the many new sporting venues that will provide an avenue to elevate sport in the country. Dion Kombang, National EMTV Sports.
PNG Rugby League will hold their annual general meeting on the 27th of February next year in Port Moresby. PNG RFL Chairman Sandy Saka said the board will present the 2015 annual report, highlighting all the activities and programs of the year, as well as the audited financials for the year.
The PNG RFL AGM is an important forum where all the affiliated leagues of the PNG RFL come together to discuss the business of the PNG RFL and address important rugby league issues and programs in PNG.
For the AGM, which is a very important part of our calendar for years, that actually starts the rugby league season.
They will also present the 2016 calendar and advise the AGM and its affiliates and stakeholders on implementation of strategic plans and plans for the 2017 World Cup.
The PNG RFL board will present its 2015 annual report together with the financials at the AGM. We will also be presenting our 2016 calendar.
All PNG RFL affiliates are requested to consult and to work with their respective confederates to ensure their requirements and reports are finalized. Formal notices in line with the PNG RFL constitution will be released in due course to advise the AGM and its business. Elijah Lavette, National EMTV Sports.
And Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The PNG Barramundis will take on Ireland in Townsville, Australia at the end of January in the third round of the ICC Intercontinental Cup. Shane Soroya has this report.
The International Cricket Council has announced the third round schedule of the ICC International Cup and ICC World Cricket League Championship. The Barramundis will face Ireland, who is undefeated in the International Cup with a maximum of 40 points from their victory over United Arab Emirates and Namibia after round 2 of the 7 rounds. They stand 14 points clear of the Netherlands in second place, with Afghanistan on third place with 21 points. Hong Kong will face Scotland, while United Arab Emirates will play host to Netherlands on January the 21st to the 24th, before competition frontrunners Ireland to face PNG in round 3 of the tournament in Townsville on the 31st January to the 3rd of February. The winners of the ICC International Cup will qualify for the ICC Test Challenge, which will be played against 10 ranked test side on home and away basis in 2018. And if ICC International Cup winner wins the 4-match ICC Test Challenge, then it will secure test status until the next edition, which will be in 2022. Shane Soroya, National EMTV Sports.
To football now, and after 4 rounds of the Telecom National Soccer League, Hikari is leading the Southern Conference by 12 points. In second place is new club Irma FC, the Gulf side having now had 2 wins and are focused on that coveted second stage spot.
A 3-1 victory over Giger Laitepo has characterized the team's strength. That win coming off the back of a humbling at the hands of Hikari the week before. Erema, however, has struggled with consistency, and this is something that head coach Steven Mune is still working on to improve. Muna has his own issues to work with. Heading into this weekend's a tough match against FC Port Moresby, the squad has conceded more goals than they have scored. And although FC Port Moresby are at the bottom of the Southern Conference table, defensively, there is concern. A victory by Air McGuff will be important. They are equal on 6 points with PK Rapatona and 2 points ahead of both Gigera Laitepo and Huawei PS. And those 3 points are extremely valuable and should be enough to hold off the rest of the competition, considering that the Telecom NSL heads off into a 3-week hiatus for the festive period. And a win will be a bonus heading into 2016. Jeremy Mogi, National, EMTV Sports.
And that story ends Trukai Sports for tonight. I'll be back with the weather details. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
And your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region: cloudy periods with a chance of showers in Port Moresby and Kerema, fine in Daru and Alatau, and brief showers for Popondetta. In the Momase region, few showers with the possible thunderstorm in Ley, brief evening showers in Madang, and showers in Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, evening showers with possible thunderstorms in Lorengau, showers in Kavieng, Kimbe and Buka, and few showers in Kokopo and Rabaul. And in the Highlands region, evening showers with possible thunderstorms, then morning fog in Mount Hagen, Gorka and Kundiawa, brief evening showers, then morning fog in Mendi and Wabeg. And that's the way it is this Wednesday, the 16th of December. From the news team, good night.